Welcome to the Board Business Channel. Everyone ready to get their minds blown today?
Always.
Well, good, because we're diving deep into this company, CMP Group. From what I've read, this company is truly one of a kind. We're talking about everything from making metal parts to running luxury hotels.
Talk about range. Their journey is just fascinating, like a whirlwind tour through all these different industries. And they really show what thinking outside the box is all about.
It's like they were making steel one day and thought, you know what would go great with this? Skyscrapers.
And then let's sprinkle in some art spaces and a hotel just for fun.
And then they pull it all off.
Seriously. It's amazing how they've managed to connect all these different businesses, like pieces of a puzzle fitting perfectly together.
Right. So let's rewind to the beginning. CMP Group got its start way back in 1972.
1972, yeah, starting with just $1 million Taiwan dollars.
To put that in perspective for everyone, that's like what you pay for a fancy sports car today, maybe.
You're probably not far off. It really hits you when you think about it. They built this whole global empire from basically $1 million, and now they're listed on the Hong Kong and Taiwan stock exchanges.
A true testament to just how much they've grown. And a huge shout out here to our friend Steve.
Steve.
Yes, Steve, the executive director of the Arizona Taiwan office. You know, he's been a total rock star, connecting us with these incredible Taiwanese businesses like CMP Group.
Oh, right. I remember him mentioning CMP Group. He's so passionate about bridging the gap between Taiwan and the U.S. market, doing amazing work.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
But enough about Steve. Let's talk about the man behind CMP Group's vision, Chairman Tim Lin. His story is seriously straight out of a movie. This guy's a former Olympian.
Wait, seriously?
Dead serious. Winter Olympics, 1980, competing in both skiing and shooting.
Okay, that is pretty impressive. Talk about high achievers. And honestly, when you look at how he runs CMP Group, you can totally see how his athletic background has shaped his approach. It's all about setting these ambitious goals, putting together a rock-solid team, and constantly pushing the limits.
Like an athlete striving for their personal best, right?
Exactly. And this guy, Tim Lin, he seems to be going for gold in everything CMP Group does.
And he's clearly not afraid to take risks.
Oh, definitely not.
Like, who'd have thought to combine a traditional market?
Like a street market, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. A traditional street market with a modern department store. It's genius.
And it works. You have to see this place, the Kimpton Green Shopping Mall. They've pulled it off flawlessly.
This is what blows my mind about CMP Group. It's not just about making money. It's about creating these unique experiences that bring tradition and innovation together in a way that just feels so natural and effortless.
Agreed. Okay, now let's talk sustainability.
Because, come on, they're in the metal industry,
Yeah.
which, let's be honest, isn't known for being eco-friendly.
Not exactly, no.
But CMP Group is turning that on its head.
Hmm.
They've made these amazing strides in reducing their environmental impact.
It all comes back to Tim Lin. His vision for a more sustainable future is driving all this. For instance, they've made this massive shift to using recycled steel in their factories.
That's huge.
It really is.
Yeah.
It means they're not just taking resources from the earth, they're actively reusing and repurposing what's already out there.
So smart.
Mm.
And that's not just good for the planet. It's good business.
Absolutely. And this sustainability thing, it isn't just a side project for them. This commitment extends to their other businesses too, like their Pujin construction division.
Right, the one with the beautiful buildings.
Yes. They're not just building high-end residential spaces. They're building them in a way that blends right into the surrounding environment, using eco-friendly designs and materials.
So they're proving that you can be successful and be sustainable.
You don't have to choose.
It's not an either situation.
CMP Group gets it. This commitment to sustainability. It's not just about doing what's right. It's about creating long-term value for the company. They understand that if the planet isn't healthy, their business won't be either.
They're playing the long game, thinking about the future and how everything they do today impacts the world tomorrow. Now, let's break down these different businesses because there's a lot to cover.
Let's do it. So, their roots, metalwork, of course. They have these massive factories in Taiwan and mainland China that pump out high-quality metal parts for all sorts of industries.
It's mind-blowing. Just picture these giant factories churning out parts for cars, construction equipment, even household appliances. They're like the unsung heroes behind so many things we use every day.
It really is incredible. It's mind-boggling how they've managed to scale up their operations but still keep those standards so high. And you know what? Even in those massive metalwork factories they're running, they're not skimping on sustainability.
Right. You wouldn't think heavy industry and being eco-friendly could go hand in hand, but CMP Group's proving everyone wrong.
For sure. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk with some seriously innovative practices. Like, you know that closed-loop water recycling system they have?
Oh, yeah. Tell me that's not genius.
Seriously. They take the water used in production and just recycle it. Drastically cuts down on water consumption and waste.
Talk about a win-win. It's like
Yeah.
turning a potential problem into a valuable resource. Okay, but let's shift gears for a sec and talk about their real estate ventures. Pujan Construction, for example, they're a major player in the game.
Oh, yeah. They're behind some of the most beautiful and forward-thinking buildings in Taiwan, and their portfolio is seriously impressive.
They're known for these luxury residential spaces that just blend in perfectly with their surroundings.
Exactly. It's not just about putting up a building, it's about creating a whole experience. Take CMP Park Lane, for instance. That's not just a bunch of buildings, it's a whole community.
I remember seeing pictures of CMP Park Lane. It's incredible how they managed to fit so much green space into the design.
Right. It's like an oasis in the middle of the city, a place to escape all the hustle and bustle, and then they throw in a bookstore and art spaces, too. Genius.
It's like they get it, you know? People don't just want a place to live. They want a space that feeds their mind and soul. And let's not forget about their move into hotels.
Oh, yeah, the Landis Taichung Hotel.
It's a real gem, all about luxury and just top-notch quality.
I've heard fantastic things about it. The service, the design, the amenities, everything's supposed to be top of the line.
It sounds like they spared no expense to create a truly unforgettable experience. Okay, we've talked a lot about their different businesses, but let's not forget about the man at the helm, Tim Lin.
Tim Lin, yeah. He's the driving force behind CMP Group's success, that's for sure. You can tell that his background as an Olympian has a lot to do with how he approaches business.
Setting goals, building a strong team, never giving up, all that.
Exactly. And he's not afraid to embrace change, which in the business world today is so important. He's always looking for ways to improve, innovate, stay one step ahead.
And his dedication to sustainability. It's not just talk. He's leading by example, showing the whole world that businesses can be successful and responsible.
It's a powerful message, and I think we can all learn a lot from it. CMP Group's a true testament to what you can achieve when you combine a clear vision with real innovation and a commitment to your values.
Well said. They've come such a long way since those early days as a metal casting company. I have no doubt they'll keep achieving amazing things.
Totally agree. I'm excited to see what the future holds for them, especially as they start expanding globally.
I think they have the potential to become one of those truly iconic brands, recognized worldwide for their quality, their innovation, and their dedication to making a real difference.
Well put. Now, before we wrap up completely, there's something that really strikes me about CMP Group.
Oh, what's that?
It's how they manage to connect with people on an emotional level, whether it's their architecture, the shopping experiences they create, or even how they work to preserve local traditions. They seem to really get what makes people tick.
That's a great point. They're not just building businesses, they're building relationships. And that's so important in today's world.
Exactly. People crave authenticity, they want connection, and they want experiences that align with their values. And CMP Group seems to nail all three.
I think that's a huge reason for their success. They're not just selling products or services. They're selling a lifestyle, a vision of something better.
And that's something people are willing to buy into, both literally and figuratively. They've built a brand that people trust, admire, and want to be a part of.
It's a great reminder that business is ultimately about people. And when you put people first, success follows.
I'm definitely feeling inspired by their story.
Me too. It just shows that with a clear vision, a dedicated team, and a willingness to change things up, you can achieve amazing things.
So what's the big takeaway for our listeners? What should they remember about CMP Group?
I think the key takeaway is that CMP Group is a shining example of what businesses can do when they prioritize innovation, sustainability, and engagement with the community.
Couldn't have said it better myself. They're proving that doing well and doing good can go hand in hand.
Absolutely. And that's a message we need to hear more of these days.
No doubt about it. They're setting a new standard for businesses everywhere. And I'm sure their story will inspire others to do the same.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, but there's always more to learn about a company like CMP Group. They're constantly evolving.
Oh, for sure. I have a feeling we'll be revisiting their story again down the road.
I'm already looking forward to it. But for now, let's leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay, how about this? It's important to remember that CMP Group's success didn't happen overnight. It was years of hard work, dedication, and, a willingness to take some risks.
So true. It's a good reminder that success isn't a destination, it's a journey.
A journey full of its ups and downs, challenges, and triumphs. So, if you're feeling inspired by CMP Group's story, my advice is get out there and take action. Pursue your passions, embrace innovation, and don't you dare give up on those dreams.
Wise words. And with that, we'll leave you to ponder the possibilities. And, one thing we haven't touched on too much is how CMP Group uses technology.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about having the latest gadgets. It's about using tech to make better decisions, streamline those processes, and really boost that sustainability effort.
They were early adopters, too, which is pretty impressive. Remember those real-time data dashboards they made for their executives?
Oh, yeah, those dashboards. It's like they have a crystal ball showing them exactly what's happening across the entire company in real time.
Talk about having your finger on the pulse. It's like having X-ray vision for your business. You can see what's working, what needs attention, and make changes instantly.
They're tracking things like energy consumption, waste production, even how efficient their supply chain is. And all of that is happening in real time. So the execs can spot problems before they even become problems,
It's all about being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
And what about those electronic workflow systems they implemented? I heard they've saved a forest worth of paper with those.
Oh, those have been huge. By automating so much of their internal stuff, they've cut down on paper, streamlined approvals, and sped up decision-making.
It's like they went from a horse-drawn carriage to a bullet train. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to Tim Lin and his leadership. This guy's clearly a visionary, pushing boundaries and thinking big.
He's amazing, right? To create that culture of innovation and sustainability across so many different businesses, that's not easy.
I think it goes back to his time as an Olympian. All those years of intense training, competing at the highest level. It must have given him this incredible understanding of what it takes to achieve success.
You're absolutely right. The discipline, the focus, the drive to reach those goals, those are essential qualities for any great leader. And he's brought all of that to CMP Group.
And he isn't afraid to challenge how things are done. He's always looking for new ideas, willing to experiment, to take risks. And that's a big reason why they've stayed ahead of the curve.
So, to sum it all up, CMP Group is a company that's firing on all cylinders. They've got their roots in metalwork, they're expanding into these new, exciting areas, they're using technology in smart ways, and they have a leader who's not afraid to push the limits.
It's inspiring, honestly, to see them grow from this small metal casting company into this huge, multifaceted conglomerate. It's a real testament to what you can do with vision, innovation, and a dedication to doing things right.
And a huge shout out to Steve at the Arizona, Taiwan office for introducing us to this incredible company. We can't wait to see what they do next, especially as they keep expanding globally.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have for today's episode of the Ford Business Channel. Hope you enjoyed our deep dive into CMP Group, a company that's really leaving its mark on the world.
Definitely check them out.
And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. We'll be back soon with another exciting look at the business world. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep innovating.